In trigonometry, there's two ways to deal with triangles that are not right-angled triangles. If trigonometry only worked for right-angled triangles, then we'd end up being quite limited. So we're fortunate that we've got these two methods. One is called the sine rule, which we're going to look at now, and the other one is called the cosine rule, which combining those two methods will allow us to look at all non-right-angled triangles. So let's get stuck into it, hey? If we've got a non-right-angled triangle ABC, then what we find is there is a relationship that exists between the sides and the angles, which will help us to find either the angle, if we need to find an unknown angle, or a side, if there's an unknown side that we need to find. If we're looking for an angle, we use this application of the sine rule. For unknown angles, we have sine of A over the side A is equal to sine B over the side B, and that's equal to the sine of angle C over the side C. If we wanted to find the length of an unknown side, we'd use this relationship. A on sine A is equal to B on sine B, which is equal to C on the sine of C. So we'll do an example of how this works for both cases. For an unknown angle, if we have the following triangle, then we develop the relationship between theta and 7 and 28 degrees and 9 minutes and the side 4.2, so it looks like this. Sine theta over 7 is equal to sine 28 degrees 9 minutes over 4.2. What we want to do is get rid of the divide by 7, so we find that sine theta is equal to 7 sine 28 degrees and 9 minutes all over 4.2, and because we're actually trying to find the size of an angle, we have to get rid of the sine of theta. We access the inverse trig function, which is sine to the power of minus 1. So finally we'll have the inverse sine of 7 sine 28 degrees 9 minutes over 4.2. And when you enter that into your calculator and you enter it into the calculator just as it looks, we'll end up finding the angle of theta, which is 51 degrees and 50 minutes. To find an unknown side, then let's have a look at this triangle. And what we do is we set up the relationship of the sine rule, and if you look carefully, the sine rule for an unknown side is exactly the same as the sine rule for an unknown angle. It's just that it's all been inverted. So we end up with this following expression. Now this is going to be a little bit easier to find a solution to, because here all we have to do is simply get rid of the divide by sine 57 degrees and 14 minutes. So we're going to multiply to give us the following expression: 8 times sine 57 degrees and 14 minutes all over sine 49 degrees and 15 minutes. And if you enter that expression straight into your calculator exactly as it looks, then you'll find that the length of the side is, to 2 decimal places, 8.88. And we write in units just to indicate that it's units of length and not units of area that we're dealing with. That's the sine rule for unknown angles and unknown sides.